Hello, good evening, everybody, and happy Valentine's Day for all the lovebirds. I haven't celebrated Valentine's in I don't know how many years. That's none of your business. But I hope that you guys have enjoyed your day so far and enjoy the rest of your evening. Um, Today, is a couple things that I want to touch on. The first thing is realtor suggestions. When I'm not going to speak for every realtor, I cannot, because we are not all the same. um I When Angelique makes a suggestion, it's very calculated, it's very strategic and coming from experience. So there's been times where buyers get ahead of themselves and they think they can make all the right decisions for themselves. So why have a realtor? I don't know, but they make decisions that they end up regretting later. Um, everything that every transaction that I've been through with all my clients, I always take something from it, and I help others learn from you know from my past experiences with other buyers, because I want to try to help each buyer not make the same mistake that others did. Um, so when I make a suggestion, it's because it's something that I've already experienced. I've done this 300 times. So, 10 times out of 10, any suggestion that I make is coming from experience. It's always going to be a very strategic thought, nothing that I just suddenly thought of. Um, there are certain things that we as realtors cannot say. There's certain things we can't do. Um, by law, by code of ethics. So um, I still want to, properly guide my clients in the right direction. So I make suggestions that, like I said, are very strategic. So I what I ask of you is to highly consider my suggestions, because it's with reason. I'm trying to help you. So if you don't listen, you're going to end up making a decision that you're going to regret. And trust me, it's happened. It's happened so many times, and I feel bad when I have to sit there and listen to somebody cry and complain about a decision that they made when they went against what I suggested. Uh, yeah, so I'm usually the first person that has to sit there and listen to it. So I don't want to have to say I told you so. So please, highly, highly, highly consider my suggestions. Um, Next thing is I want to take you guys through a process of buying a home. I feel like I always talk, but I never get through the whole process. So I want to do that tonight. Let me walk you through an entire process. Briefly. Now, every transaction is going to be different. Every transaction is going to have its, ins and outs. But in a nutshell, this is what it's like. So, you call me or you text me. I prefer to schedule our phone call. So you can text me, PM me, whatever, email. Hey Angie, I'm looking for a house in the Houston area. I'd like to work with you. Can we schedule a phone call? Sure. We schedule a phone call. We speak, and we have our buyer's consultation, and then I put you in touch with my lender. You get your pre-approval. I'm going to let you know before I even put you in touch with the lender. I'm going to let you know what what documents you'll need to submit. When you do your pre-approval, you can get your answer back as quick as the same day or the next day, as long as you have your stuff together. I meet so many people that are just not organized. They just don't have their stuff. So I'm going to let you know what documents you're going to need for your pre-approval. And as long as you get all of that to the lender, you'll have your answer either the same day or the next. Pre-approvals are quick. It shouldn't take anybody a week to give you a pre-approval unless you don't have your stuff together. But as long as you have all your documents, you should have your answer in the same day or the next day. So once you get your pre-approval, that lets us know how much you qualify for. Now, what you qualify for, your max loan amount, and what you're comfortable with may be two different numbers. So we want to work out all the kinks with the numbers before we move on, before we start shopping, before I send you listings. Because the lender may tell you that you qualify for 450. The first thing we want to know is what's the payment. If the lender tells you at 450 your payment is going to be, I don't know, 3,800, you could step back and be like, whoa, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm only comfortable with going up to 3,000. Okay, so Mr. Lender, Mr. Lender, what price point do we need to be at for the buyer to be at 3,000 a month? That's how we do it. They play with the numbers, and then they tell you, okay, in order to be at 3,000 a month, you got to be at, I don't know, 420. And these are just hypothetical numbers. Please don't memorize these numbers. So we know 450 is too high. You're not comfortable with that payment, but you are comfortable with the payment at 420. So now we know where you want to be at monthly. Now we can start shopping. Another thing we got to look at is the tax rate. So Houston, very unique. We have a unique tax situation here. We need to know what tax rate the lender estimated with that pre-approval. That can make a big difference. If they only estimated 2.7% tax, if we go looking in an area like Katy or somewhere where the tax is 3.5, that's gonna bring you down from 420. Because now at 420 with a higher tax rate, the payment is gonna be over 3,000. So we kind of want to stay around whatever they estimated you at with your taxes. Or we could tell the lender, hey, look, we already know we want to be in Katy. So the average tax rate in Katy is 3.5. So give me an estimate with 3.5. They'll do that, and then they'll say, okay, well, if you want to stay at 3,000 a month, we got to come down. We can't stay at 420. We got to come down to 400. Okay, so now we at 400 because the tax rate. And that's what's going to keep you at 3,000 a month. So we searching in Katy, $400,000 homes. You tell me, I want good schools. Okay. Whatever it is you tell me, I'm keeping all of that in mind. I'm keeping other things in mind that you didn't even mention, just things that I know you need to be looking for as a homeowner. So I'm searching. I run my searches. I send them to you, new and resale. Unless you tell me I definitely only want to go new construction. Okay, we'll do that. So we start our search. We find your house. Before you start shopping, the lender is going to verify this too as well. You have some money. I don't care if you're using any type of assistance, any type of down payment assistance program, you still have to have some money. Because once we go shopping and we find a house that you like, the very first thing you're going to have to pay is called earnest deposit, earnest money deposit, EMD. That's money that you put down for that seller to take the house off the market. That's what we used to call good faith money, saying, here, take this money from me. This check means that I'm serious about buying this house, so you can hold this money to take that house off the market. So that money goes into what's called an escrow account with the title company, and they just hold it there, and it gets applied towards your closing at the end, towards your closing costs at the end. So that's the very first thing you have to pay right away. As soon as your offer is accepted on a resale, if you're in new construction, as soon as you sign a purchase agreement, you're gonna have to pay earnest deposit. And then the very next thing you do after earnest deposit on resale, you have to do your inspection. You want to do inspection right away on resale. New construction is different because if that home is still being built, it's not ready for a final inspection. So we have to wait until the builder tells us, okay, it's ready. And then they'll give us, a walkthrough, a final walk schedule to do your final walks. They're gonna want you to do your third-party inspection before the final walk. That way they have the report. We can have the report to give to them, and they can review that before the final walk, and fix some of the issues that were on that report before we get there to do your final walk. So with new construction, there's no rush. If the house is not complete yet, you have to be patient. There's no rush to do a third-party inspection because you don't want to inspect it too early. If you inspect it too early, it's going to be so much that's not completed yet. Then your report is going to be kind of like a false negative type thing, a false positive, however they call it. But it's going to be too many things wrong on the report simply because the house was just not complete yet. So you kind of wasted your money because you did the inspection too early. Things just weren't done yet. So just be patient on the inspection and just follow my lead. Like I said, I've done this 300 times, so I'm not going to forget an inspection. On resale, yes, that's when you want to immediately schedule your inspection, because we're working in a time frame. You have to stay within your contingency period, and you don't want to fall outside of that contingency period, because if you and the seller can't come to an agreement on what's going to be repaired, you'll still have time to walk away and get your earnest back, as long as everything was decided within that contingency period. On resale, new construction, relax. So you do your inspection, then once inspection clears, whether everything is all good, we don't need any repairs, or you and the seller have decided, okay, these are the repairs that's going to be made, cool, okay, everybody happy, then the lender will order your appraisal. So appraisal happens, that's kind of in the background thing. You don't, that's not an appointment you need to be there for, or nothing like that. Inspection, let me back up. For the inspection, inspectors don't really like for the buyers to be there the whole time, because if you're there, you're gonna be like talking to them, distracting them, asking them questions, and it's gonna take them longer to do their job. So let the inspector go, let them do their job. The company that I like to work with, they are very communicative. They call, they text. I always request call me an hour before you're finished so that I can meet them at the end, myself and the buyer, and or the buyer. They let me know when they're, an hour away from being finished, so then we can head over there and meet them at the end. So you meet the inspector at the end after they've done their job, they're done inspecting, and then they'll go over their findings with you at the end. Sometimes it's good to well, not sometimes, but always, it's always good to be there and speak with the inspector at the end, because they can actually point out and show you, what they saw, what they're talking about, versus trying to figure it out from the report. So I like to do that. I like to meet the inspector at the end. Let them do their job. Leave them alone. Just meet them at the end. So that's inspection. Appraisal, you don't meet them. They go in, they in and out. There's like a kind of behind the scene type thing. We don't even order the appraisal, the lender does. For the inspector, if you're using my preferred inspector, then I get that scheduled for you. You don't have to worry about it. I try to do as much as I can for my client to make it, take some of the load off of you. So yeah, so the lender orders the appraisal. We don't, that's nothing like, like I said, that's like a in the background type thing. After the appraisal, you'll be in contact with the lender, and they'll probably be requesting documents or sending you emails asking you certain questions about your credit, like if underwriting have questions. You'll be in conversations with the lender. Title company will be sending you emails asking you to fill out forms or schedule your signing appointment. So you will get some emails from title. During this process, it's a lot of people involved in this entire process. So you're going to be getting documents from your realtor, from your lender, from title. You'll be talking to the inspector, and it's a lot of people involved. So you got to keep up and know who you're talking to. Don't be talking to the wrong person thinking that they're a part of this transaction and they're not. Now, okay, so inspection, appraisal. Once you pass inspection and appraisal, it's kind of, smooth sailing from there. Those are the two major humps to get over. Then we'll schedule your walkthrough. Whether it's resale or new construction, you're gonna always have a walkthrough, and you should never skip that, because you want to make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be in that home before you close. Because after you close, if you waive your walkthrough, your final walk, and then you close, and then you get the keys to the house and you go inside and like, where's the refrigerator? They were supposed to be the refrigerator. Oh, well, you closed. You signed the closing documents. It's your house now. You can't do anything. So don't ever skip your final walk. So yeah, so once we know you're closing soon, we got your closing date, everything checked out, appraisal, inspection, we schedule that final walk, and I like to do the walk within 3 days before closing day. So we do a final walk, then we go to closing. What I want to say is, before you get to closing, any questions you have about your loan, talk to your lender, review your loan documents, your final disclosure before you get to the closing table. The people at the title company, most of the time it's a notary. They're not even in real estate. They're just there to make sure you sign all your documents. They're not in real estate. And if it's not a notary, if it's an actual EO, an escrow officer, they're not loan officers either. They have a job. Their job is title and escrow. If you have loan questions, your loan questions should go to your loan officer. Now, I see this happen so much, and the escrow officers just try to work with you as much as they can and answer what they can, but they are not loan officers. They should not be answering your loan questions. Review your loan documents, review that final disclosure, and any questions you have, ask your loan officer before you get to the closing table. You shouldn't have any loan questions when you get to the closing table. They do not like that. And it can make closing so long. Closing shouldn't take any more than 45 minutes. But I've seen it go an hour and a half, just because the buyer has so many loan questions. That should have been already sorted out before you got to that title office. No one should be explaining your loan at the closing table. And your lender shouldn't find out that you have questions about your loan when you get to the closing table. If you have questions, Don't embarrass them like that. Ask them before you get to the closing table. That's very important. Very, very important. I had a buyer that made the loan officer just look so bad because she just didn't tell him that she had questions. She didn't review her loan disclosure, her final disclosure, final settlement, nothing until we got to the table. Then suddenly she had all these questions, and we were there for over 2 hours. Keep in mind, realtors do not have to attend your closing. We do not. We get our check whether we're at your closing or not. We still get paid. We're there to, as support for you, so you don't feel alone, so you don't feel lost in the process, so you're comfortable with everything that you're signing, and to celebrate with you. We don't have to be there. So when you do stuff like that, you wait until you get to the closing table to ask a million questions about your loan. Now you're taking up everybody's time. Closing should be 45 minutes, not 2 hours. So please review your loan docs before you get to the closing table. So we close. We've done our final walk. You signed off. Everything was good in the house. Get to the closing table. You sign your closing documents. We have our little photo shoot, and then we go to the house, get your keys, and do some more pictures and gifts and just parlay. Celebrate your new home. That's the process. After you get your keys and I wish you well and I leave, that's not going to be the last time you hear from me. I'm always available to my clients. I'm never just like deuces, I'm still always available. Anything I can help you with, I will. I know that new homeowners have so many questions or are just so scared to take on this huge responsibility. So I don't ever want my clients to feel like she put us in this house. She helped us buy this house and nobody's, helping us. I need help. I need this. I need that. I don't know how to work this. I don't know. You can always call me, and whatever I can help with, I will. Or I can always, share my resources with you, point you in the right direction. So I don't just dump you after we close. So that's the process. That's the home buying process. I just ask that you follow my lead. Don't work ahead of me. It's kind of offensive if you jump and start doing things that I haven't done because you feel like I'm not moving fast enough for you. It's the reason why I haven't done it yet. I'm fully aware of the timeline of when everything is supposed to happen and why it's supposed to happen at that time. So please allow me to do my job. Don't work ahead of me. So that's the process. It's fun, and I won't promise everybody a smooth process either, but what I will promise you is that we'll get through it. There's always going to be some obstacles, but that's what I specialize in, overcoming those obstacles. So, and we'll get through it. Whatever it is, we'll get creative and fix whatever the problem is. So don't ever feel like, oh, one little thing is wrong. Oh, I'm going to lose the house. Oh, man. No, we're going to exhaust every possibility. Okay. So I look forward to going through this process with more of you. So I hope this kind of gave you, a better idea of what to expect during the home buying process. Like I said, I do offer first-time home buying courses. So if you want to learn more in depth about buying a house, we can schedule a session. If you're not ready to buy right now, right at this moment, but you just want the education, you just want the information to help you feel more comfortable with moving forward and making that decision, that's why I offer those home buying classes. and they work for everybody. You don't have to be in Houston or Texas. It's general home buying information that anybody anywhere can use, and I'm sure your realtor would appreciate you getting this information before you start working with them, because it'll show that you have some knowledge of what's going on, and you know how to be a buyer. I really want to teach a class on how to be a good buyer. You want to be a buyer that an agent wants to work with. There are some buyers that sometimes we're like, God, I can't wait till this is over. So that's gonna be another little session, how to be a good buyer. So anyway, that's the home buying process from start to finish. And remember to highly consider my suggestions. That's it for tonight. I think I've taken up enough time now. So any questions, y'all know, y'all can always hit me up, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.